Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello. This is Anita Stoudemire, and I am back again with another episode of the Better Love Movement podcast. And this week, I wanted to address some of the relationship drama that is out there on the internet, on the social media platforms, what everyone is talking about. And it is a really, really great cautionary tale. And so a couple of people have asked me to speak on some of the things that have been happening in the last few weeks. And I wanted to do that in this week's episode of the podcast. So this week's episode, we're in episode number 140, and it is entitled, "The Man You Choose Matters." I can't say that enough times. And what is incredibly frustrating and actually very sad is that the relationship drama that's unfolding right now over the last few weeks, it's made it very clear to me the level of trauma, the level of woundedness that women are in, that they cannot even see. Like, there are so many women who can't even see what's happening. They can't even see that the choices that they are making are, leading them to where they are. And here is the reality that a lot of people who cry victim, a lot of people who don't know how to take accountability, or they're in this chronic victim mindset, they are deeply traumatized. They have experienced some incredible hurt and pain and wounding. A lot of them starting in childhood. There's a lot of wounded people, a lot of broken, wounded people out there. And healing is in order. It is so desperately needed. What's happening, what I'm seeing out here, it's so clear that so many people have woundedness. I don't know what else to think about it other than these people are severely traumatized by whatever has happened in their life. And I will say this, I don't know any of these people personally, but as a licensed professional counselor, when I hear people's stories, and I hear lots of people's stories, that's pretty much what I do all day, every day. I hear people's stories. People give me a glimpse inside of their world and what's going on in their world. And this is a huge one that anybody can, see, is that when these stories come across us and we see what's happening, we see how these people are behaving, we see the way they're talking, we see what they're doing. So their behaviors are actually a glimpse inside of them and what's going on inside of them. Like, you can't deny that a woman who is very aggressive, who's very angry, a woman who uses profanity every other word, a woman who over-sexualizes herself, like, these are not things that are normal. And I know in this modern day culture, we want to believe that men who call themselves the N word and women who calls themselves the B word, that's all normal. It isn't. It isn't. It's a sign of a person who is deeply traumatized. There's nothing normal about a woman calling herself the B word or calling herself a hoe. There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing normal about a woman who subjects herself to physical abuse, to sexual abuse. And can I be honest? If you're having sex with 3 men in one night, you are sexually abused. And if you're telling people, well, it was consensual, it's something I wanted to do, I just, had sex with 3 people in one night, you don't even realize that you're traumatizing yourself. Like, that's how far we've gone in this modern day culture. That we think that these incredibly traumatizing choices, these choices that we're making that are only hurting us, but, it's cool because we have the freedom to make them, and it's my body, my choice. I have the freedom to traumatize myself by, being a sex worker or having sex on camera or having sex with multiple men or having casual sex. My body, my choice. No, it's telling me something about you. And it's sad. It's sad. So, this is going to be a serious conversation in this podcast episode. We're going to talk about a couple of couples that, their relationship has gone off the track and, it's become this internet fodder, this debacle that they're letting everyone in on, whether it be through Instagram and Instagram Live, whether it be through video. It's just really sad to me that this is where a lot of people are landing. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Dababy Danileigh spectacle that they have made on Instagram, and both of them have gone live quite a few times. But it is specifically the video where Dababy was trying to put Danileigh out of his condo. He was trying to get her and the baby to leave. And I don't know if they had gotten into some sort of altercation. It's based on the research that I did. She has like 2, I guess, misdemeanor assault charges. I guess he accused her of hitting him, striking him or something. In this video, he attempts to completely degrade her, completely called her the side B, said that was not his woman, but she was the side B. I mean, it was humiliating. It was humiliating and degrading. And then she made a video crying on live about, how she deserved better and why does she keep coming back to this and why does it? Okay, because you're allowing it. You're allowing it. And what's sad is, I'm looking at the Instagram video and some of the people were falling for the whole victim mindset thing and some of the people were not. They were like, stop dealing with them. Stop, why'd you have a baby by him? Why are you continuing to sleep with them? This is at your own hand. And yes, that is a valid, that's a valid question. But then I will also say this as a professional therapist. This girl is incredibly wounded. She is incredibly traumatized. And dare I say it, she chooses people to keep this cycle going. Like, this is all she knows. I'm sure her family is full of drama and trauma and all kinds of childhood stuff. And so it makes sense that she's going to choose a romantic partner that's going to keep that nonsense going because that's all she knows. That's what feels comfortable to her. That's what love is all this drama. And the saddest part of all is, and I'm going to speak to this too, because in all 3 of these examples, what I find sickening is that there is a child involved. There is a baby in the center of this nonsense. Like, help me to understand how we went through in the last, let's see, since 1960. So that is 50, 60 years? 1960 to 2021. So 61 years, okay? We have over 15 birth control methods, okay? All these different birth control methods. And yet, for some reason, in the last 5 years, it's like birth control hasn't been invented. I honestly don't get it. I don't understand how a country that is so technologically advanced, a country that has medical advancements, a country that has like all these different birth control methods, and yet women are out here having babies as if there is no birth control, as if birth control has not been invented. It just absolutely blows my mind. And it also leads me to believe, okay, this is on purpose. Like this is on purpose. These are not accidents. These are not accidents happening. These women are having children by men they don't know very well. They're having children by men they're not married to. They're having children with men that they're not even in a committed and exclusive relationship with. And what's so just utterly sad and shocking about that is that a baby is a permanent decision based on a temporary feeling. Like your child is going to grow up and become a full-fledged adult person. Like this is a human being. And so regardless of the lust you feel in your heart, and regardless of the love you think you feel in your heart, or the whatever feelings you think you feel in your heart, that your choice is going to lead to forever until you or them pass away. It blows my mind that it's like we're living in, such an advanced time, and yet people are making decisions or acting as if we don't have all of the birth control that we have. I can't even put it into words. My mind is just swimming, like, wow, this is where we're at. But yes, this young lady got pregnant. She talked about how he left her during her pregnancy. And then, she goes back to him. And now her baby is 3 months old. And now, they're at it again. It's just all of this drama surrounding their so-called relationship or lack thereof, according to him. You're not my girl. You're my side B. And there is a child in the middle of all of this. And so, ladies, who you choose matters. And if you find yourself not making good choices when it comes to men, you're wounded. There's something going on inside of you that you've got to sit down and work on. Because if you have patterns, and we all do, I did. I had the emotionally unavailable man pattern, or the cheating man pattern. But the way to put an end to that, the way to stop it, is you. And that's not going to happen if you're always the victim. That's not going to happen if it's always these men out here. Talk to these men out here. Talk to these cheating men. Talk to these lying men. Talk to these men who are broken and need to heal. Why isn't anybody talking to them? Why aren't you talking to them, Anita? Because I want to empower you. Just like I empowered myself. I had the choice to stop choosing men who were emotionally unavailable. I had the choice to stop sleeping with men I wasn't married to. I can make that choice at any point in time. And unless a man is going to, tie me down and rape me, I have the choice to take birth control. I have the choice to utilize some form of birth control. I had 3 children in my life that were planned. 3. And I have spoken about this in my book. I had a pregnancy when I was 23, 24, and it was not on purpose, but it also was not technically an accident. It was one of those choices I made just based on a feeling, based on, I'm having a feeling for an ex that, came back, and it was a choice that I made, and a pregnancy resulted from it. And then I made another choice. I made a choice to terminate that pregnancy because I knew I would not make anyone a good mother. And I also knew, call it what you want, but I also knew I did not want to be attached to that man for the rest of my life. I wanted to move on with my life, and I wanted to have a good life. And I did not want to be attached to him for the rest of my life. So even with that option, and I wouldn't necessarily say I'm pro or I'm for or against, but I will say this. After that, I've always been team prevention. That way you don't have to make that decision. If you're for or against abortion, I'm team prevention. That was the wake-up call for me. I'm team prevention. And so that's the team I was on until I wanted to have children. And so, yeah, that's a thing. You can prevent pregnancy until you're ready to have children. And yet, it's insane that there are so many people out here that are not in a good position to bring a child into the world, and they are doing it in mass. It's like a thing now where women are saying, well, I want to have a baby. I don't know if I want to be married, or I don't want to be married. I just want to have a baby. Or, I want to have a baby by that guy. And honestly, I think we are beyond this idea of, oh, women are doing this because they think having a baby will keep the man. I know for a fact that they know that that's not going to happen. I think women do understand that having a baby is not going to keep a man because it hasn't worked in hundreds of years. What I believe a lot of women are doing is they just like the idea of being attached to that man. So even though they know that having the baby isn't going to keep the man, there is a part of them that's like, I have a part of that man. Like, he's not going to stay, but I have his son. I have his daughter. DNA. I have his DNA. So our DNA has mixed forever. And there's something about that floats women's boat. That's what I think they're really after. They love the idea of being forever attached to this man. And they know the man is not going to stay. They know the baby is not going to keep the man. But that's such a high price to pay, to bring another human being into the world because of that. Wow, that's like mind-bending to me. So, ladies, who you choose matters. The second example I have, and I normally do not watch these videos, these very graphic, violent videos. I try to avoid them like the plague because it gets inside of me. I am empathic in that manner of, I can't watch stuff like that because it'll get inside of me. And I, don't want it inside of me. But there is a video that is circulating of ex-NFL player Zac Stacy, and he is brutally attacking his ex-girlfriend, Kristen Evans. And she was recently interviewed on the local news in Florida. That's where this attack happened. And I mean, this beating was brutal. And she has a 5-month-old son by him. And apparently, I guess she has another child by another man. But she says that this was not the first time that these beatings, these physical altercations started in May, weeks before her son was born. She had an incident with him in August of this year, and then again in September. And then most recently, three days ago, when this beating was caught on camera in her apartment. And you all, like I said, my heart broke. My heart broke just watching this. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, we have got to choose better. Who you choose matters. And once again, this woman has a child by this monster. She is forever attached to this man through that child. These are the things we must think about. And now she says she's scared for her life. She's left her apartment. She's filed a restraining order. This man has been arrested. He has since been arrested. And I mean, this is insane to me. But like I said, she can't just disappear. She can't just, go away, disappear, move away and start her life all over because she has a child by him. And unless the court terminates his parental rights, she will have to deal with this man for 18 years. I mean, that's the worst part of it. Yes, the beating is horrific, but the fact that you have to look upon your abuser, that if the court does not terminate his parental rights, and from my understanding, it's really hard to do, this man could get some form of visitation of his child. Now, it may be, where they have visitation where you are watched. The visitation where someone has to watch you visit with your child. He may get that. But the very thought of her having to continue to have some form of communication with this monster is mind-blowing. But this is why who we choose matters. This is why we don't get pregnant by men we're not married to and that we have not vetted properly. Again, I don't understand why women are out here having children by these men. I'm just lost. You cannot want a child that bad. And yet you're tied forever to this person. So, yeah, we have to choose better. We have to choose better. And we have to heal. This is why our healing is so important. This woman put up with this for over a year. And y'all know there were signs that this man was abusive. There were signs, or there was that first sign. And let's be honest, that first sign, that first raised voice, that first grab, that first slap, that first, talking crazy, cursing you out, those are all signs, ladies, that you need to go about your business. Well, this isn't working out for me. Oh, that doesn't work for me. You end it. You end it. And on no given day is a man going to even curse at me. We're good. I'm good. call me out of my name, raise his voice to me, throw something down. Any of that behavior is a no. That's a no for me. So this isn't working out for me. I'm not interested. I don't want to go any further. That's what he's going to hear from me. And if he continues to try to make contact, then I'm going to get the law involved. I'm not going to let it go, but so far. No, I'm going to do what I need to do to protect myself. This does not work for me. Like, I'm going to just tell you that as soon as that happens. Yeah, no, this isn't a good fit. That's it. And we have to love ourselves enough to do that. We have to know the signs, and we have to act on the signs as soon as it happens. But trust and believe. I bet you she was 2 or 3 months in, and this behavior, this angry, aggressive behavior, was displayed. But, I feel a way about him, or, I don't know what she was thinking. But look at how far this has gone. That man could have killed her. That man could have accidentally killed her. All of this happened in front of a 5-month-old baby. I mean, he was out of his mind in a rage. So, ladies, we have to choose better, because who we choose matters. I'm never going to stop saying that. And we need to stop having babies by men we don't know, by men who are violent, by men who are immature, by men who are narcissistic, by men who are abusive. Yeah, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. My plea is to women, as I've always said, because we are the gatekeeper. Be a good gatekeeper. Get healed. Get the help that you need. If you are suffering from, PTSD, trauma from your childhood, get the help that you need. Okay, my last example, not as bad as those two, but most recently we heard about Jason Derulo. He's a singer who broke up with his girlfriend, Jena Frumes. I think is how you say her name, or Frumes. Frumes? Okay. They broke up in September, and she just had a baby in May. So, once again, you're not married, and you're getting pregnant by your boyfriend, and 4 or 5 months later, you all are broken up. You're a single parent with a 5-month-old. No. Like, why is this a thing? Why is this an epidemic? It has to stop, and we can stop it. So there's so many steps that can be taken. I'm just trying to understand why these women aren't on birth control. Why aren't you on birth control? If you're going to be out here dating, and you're going to be, dating someone regularly, and you're not married, practice some form of birth control. Vet this person. Know who you're dealing with. Because yes, I do believe that there are indications that a man is going to leave you 5 months after your baby is born. Yes, I do. And you're playing the victim if you're sitting here saying, well, Anita, you just don't know. I mean, men can pretend. They can pretend for months. They can pretend for years. And they can act all great. And then, well, it could happen even after you marry them. They could just lose their mind. They could become totally different. Please, if you're gonna get better, if you're gonna become an empowered woman, if you're gonna make better choices, you cannot rely on those excuses anymore. You have to be willing to see your part in it. You have to be willing to believe that, yes, there is a way to appropriately vet a man. Yes, relationships are a risk. I've always said that. Relationships are a risk. You are taking a risk, but you can lower that risk by doing your homework And too many women are not. And then they want to blame someone. They want to be the victim. But the bad news is when you cry victim, when you stay in that state, you continue to make the same mistake over and over and over. You never get better. You never heal your wounds. You never heal the trauma. It just keeps going. We have to be willing to see our part in it. We have to be willing to get help. We have to be willing to heal and grow and heal our woundedness. But what is just mind altering to me is that, like I said, in 1960, the FDA approved the first birth control pill, Planned Parenthood, the advent of Planned Parenthood, and talking to women specifically about this idea of, okay, you do not have to have 10 children. My grandmother had 10 children, 10 children. And the only form of birth control that she practiced was, the rhythm method or, we're not getting any tonight. That was it. And had 10 children. And she could have, I don't know her full story. She could have had more pregnancies than that. Maybe she miscarried. But, she didn't have these options. It was like, okay, I'm going to be intimate with my husband and what happens, happens. But it is 2021. And we are acting as if, as women, we are acting as if we don't have birth control options. We're just out here having sex with men we barely know, or having sex with men that we think we're in a relationship with and we come to find out that we're not, or we're having sex with abusive, aggressive men. We're having sex with men, that we're off and on, the relationship's up and down, it's volatile. We're doing all of this and we're getting pregnant. And then we're saying, well, this pregnancy was unexpected. This pregnancy wasn't planned. Okay, if you're not on birth control, yes, it was. That's the only thing that can happen. Newsflash. Sex makes babies. That's it. Sex doesn't make relationships. Sex doesn't even make love. The one thing sexual intercourse does is it makes babies. Okay? That's what sex does. Doesn't make love, doesn't make relationships, doesn't mean that, we're going to be anything exclusive or committed, because there's too many people out here having sex that aren't exclusive and committed. But you know what sex does make? It makes babies. And so if you're not on a pretty consistent form of birth control, and condoms is not birth control. Don't even get me started on condoms. Condoms is somewhat effective in preventing STDs. I wouldn't even say that's 100%, but it's somewhat effective for preventing STDs, but condoms is not birth control. Please don't think a man using a condom is a form of birth control. It's not. And so we got to do better. The reason why this platform exists, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I'm seeing women go backwards. We think we're going forwards and we're not. I honestly believe that women today are doing worse in a lot of ways than my grandmother's day. We're doing worse. And we're running around like chickens with our head cut off just because, we're allowed to work outside of the home. We're doing so much better. We're allowed to get all these degrees and work outside of the home. In so many ways, we are doing so much worse. And we have to wake up. We have so much at our disposal. And yet, we find ourselves doing worse in a lot of ways. I don't understand that. And we have to do better. That's what this platform is about. Empowering you as a woman. Helping you to get better. Helping you to become a good, healthy gatekeeper. Helping you to fall into your femininity. And again, It's for you. It's so that you can feel good. It's so that your self-esteem can be high. It's so that you can be confident. It's so that you can get the healing that you need. It's so that you can finally get the love that you so deeply crave. And newsflash, it isn't just from a man. There are so many different forms of love other than romantic love. That's what this is about. Opening your eyes to all the many ways that you can experience love. Real love. And not this foolishness that all these people are out here doing. That's not love. That's the drama and the trauma of their past. So it is time that we wake up. I mean, we're getting a lot of examples of what not to do. We're getting a lot of examples of what love isn't. And yet, for some reason, there are everyday people out here that are following in the footsteps of these people. But it's time to heal. What I have seen in the last few weeks is there are a lot of people out here that are really traumatized. They're really broken. And they need healing. And so every day that I pray, and I pray for our world, I pray for our country, I pray for the women that I interact with online, and I pray for my clients, my coaching clients, my counseling clients. I mean, I've been praying. I've never prayed so much in the last 2 years. So between the COVID situation, the pandemic, and just the state of the world where we are in relationships and in dating, I am just wearing myself out praying. And we have the answers. And I have to pray that people will actually, utilize the resources, utilize the answers, because we have the principles in which to live by. And I just have to pray that people open up their eyes and start doing it. Start actually using what we know works. And that's what this platform is about. If you are a woman who is in a relationship, who is married, or who is single, and you finally see your pattern, you finally have come to terms with the patterns in your life, and you want to break them, you want to finally get free, you want to have healthy love, healthy life, you're ready to break those patterns, feel free to go to the website, to click on the services tab, and I would love to work with you. I would love to help you get free and to get healed and to just heal those patterns, break free of those patterns so you can finally have the life that I know you want. So please consider going to the website www.betterlovemovement.com and check out the services tab. Consider working with me and get free, because it's time. We have to heal. We have to heal. Don't continue to remain broken. Don't continue to remain traumatized. And, in my state, I am licensed in the state of Virginia to do mental health counseling. That's an option outside of my state. I provide coaching for couples and for individuals. And I am very passionate about helping people, because that's the change that we need. We need people to get the help that they need and to heal. And I'm just honored to be a part of that plan for so many people. Thank you so much for joining me this week. This was a really, really difficult episode because there are just so many things going on right now in the world. So much pain. So many people who are, like I said, just traumatized, just broken. But thank you so much for joining me this week. Have a wonderful holiday week. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And I hope you take some time out to really reflect on what you're grateful for this week. not just on Thanksgiving, but every single day. Thank you for joining me, and as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.